Danny Green, he is returning to the Philadelphia 76ers. Could be considered a bit of a surprise, considering the relationship between Danny Green and 76ers fans were not the greatest last season, as they weren't also with the Lakers and with some Raptors fans. But nonetheless, he is back. He could be a starter for them again next year. He could be on the bench. That remains to be seen. It also remains to be seen what this Philadelphia 76ers roster is even going to look like, with Ben Simmons potentially being traded, and some rumors Tobias Harris could even be traded, although I don't think that's likely. But nonetheless, this roster could look very different coming the start of the season. So I'm not ready to make any lineup projections for this Philadelphia 76ers team yet. But nonetheless, bench or starter, Danny Green is back on a 2-year deal worth $10 million a season. Got paid fairly well for someone that Sixers fans don't like. There's no doubt Danny Green is not Danny Green of San Antonio anymore. Danny Green has never been as consistent as some people would have liked to think. He just got on a good run in San Antonio in a right time and got a lot of media coverage, and then got looked at as one of the best three-point shooters in the league. Now, don't get me wrong, Danny Green is a very good three-point shooter. He is still probably one of the top 10, 15, 20 three-point shooters in the league. The problem is he does have some inconsistencies. He does have some stretches where he cannot buy a three-point shot, and his defense just isn't where it used to be anymore because his lateral quickness just isn't as good as it used to be. And that's not a knock on Danny Green, it's just that he's 34, and people age and people get slower, and that's just the nature of sports in the NBA. And so that's just kind of the reality with Danny Green right now. And so he's someone who will come back again. He'll give them some decent defense. He'll give them some spacing and some good three-point shooting. But that inconsistencies is really what I think people get frustrated with, because he'll have a string of 5, 6, 7, 8 games where he just can't make easy buckets. And now the rest of the time, he'll be absolutely firing at a very high rate. But sometimes those stretches can be really hard to live with, especially for a guy who, when he isn't making his three-point shots on the offensive end, really isn't doing that much for you at all. He isn't a great playmaker. Off the dribble, he isn't that useful. He's definitely not taking guys to the rim off the dribble. So when he's not making his shots, it is tough offensively for him. But nonetheless, I think it's a good bring back for the Philadelphia 76ers. It keeps that championship pedigree in the locker room. Of course, he has several titles between the Spurs, the Lakers, and the Raptors. Someone who knows how to win. Someone who knows how to make winning plays, bring that winning culture and attitude, can make some three-point shots for you, can play some defense, can play the 2 or the 3. He gives some options to the Philadelphia 76ers team, and I think it's a good signing for them to bring him back. They bring back their shooters in Korkmaz and Danny Green. It keeps the spacing on the team that very much needs spacing around some of their core guys, specifically Ben Simmons, to an extent Joel Embiid, who don't shoot as well. Now Embiid has developed into a decent three-point shooter, but at the end of the day, he is a tank who needs to spend more time in the paint. That being said, that is my thoughts on the Philadelphia 76ers bringing back Danny Green on a 2-year deal worth $20 million over the course of that 2 years. If you did enjoy the video, feel free to leave a like down below and subscribe to the channel if you are new. If you want to hear my thoughts on other free agency signings, be sure to click the box on the right-hand side of the screen. If you want to hear my thoughts on Philadelphia 76ers free agency signings, be sure to click the box on the left. Again, as I said in the last video, if you did watch it, let me know your thoughts down in the comment section on me having my full face cam on the screen like this as opposed to down in the corner. The background, let me know what you prefer. I'm still getting used to this, but if this is something you guys do prefer, then I can certainly be sure to continue to do these moving forward. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you guys in the next one.